Hey guys, Caillou Tate here, and welcome to episode 2 of Luck of the Draw Squad Builder. Now, the idea for the series is that I'll open a couple of packs, take the highest rated player from each of those packs, and build a team around them players. I'll then do a complete review of the team, going through each individual player, and finish the episode off with a countdown of the top 3 best players in the team. So let's get straight into it, and for this episode, I will be opening two 7,500 coin gold packs, and let's see who we get in the first pack. It is none other than the French central attack midfield player, Agor Kouf. He plays in the League One for a team called Olympique Lyonnais. And just to let you guys know, I will be using one of the two formations from one of the two players that I pull in the packs. So anyways, moving swiftly on, and we're going to open our second pack. And the player we get in the second pack, he is not a known player among, I suppose, FIFA players. He is a central defensive midfield player who plays in the Norwegian Tippeligaen for a team called Tromsø IL. And we ended up going for 4-2-2-2, which was the formation on Agor Kouf's card. But let's take a look at some of the players that I signed for the team. The first being Pogba, who is a silver player who plays with Juventus. We've also got the speed demon Remi, who plays with Marseille. Look at that, 92 pace. We've also got probably one of the best centre backs in FIFA 13 Ultimate Team, which is Chiellini, and another very pacey centre back in Caillou Tate, who plays in the Belgian Pro League. So let's take a look at how the team will line up. You'll see there I did put in Kara and Agor Kouf in the team, and we are going for 4-2-2-2 as I said. So let's review the team. First up in goals, we got Prato, who is another player who plays with Anderlecht, similar to Caillou Tate. He is a Belgian player, and you'll see up there he's got an average rating of 7.4. And I've got to say, he was actually a very good goalkeeper, pulled out some great saves. He was prone to one or two mistakes, but overall, he did get me out of some very sticky situations and made some absolutely vital saves. So overall, I actually did really enjoy playing with him, and I definitely would recommend him. He only goes for about 6,000 coins. He could even be cheaper right now, but at the time building this team, he was in around 6,000 coins. So a good overall goalkeeper. But let's move on, and our right back is Abate. He plays in the Serie A for AC Milan, and you'll see there he actually did have quite a high average rating over the games that I played in this episode. Did very, very well for me, and he just got stuck in. He did actually take all my corners, which was kind of strange, but I actually did score a lot of goals from corners. So yeah, he did a good job on that part. Probably had, I'd say, about 6 or 7 assists, because that's probably the amount of headers I scored from corners. He's very pacey, 92 pace, which is ridiculous. The only problem I really had with him was he got forward quite a bit and failed to track back sometimes, but overall a very good right back. And first up in the centre back position is Chiellini, and what can I say, he's an absolute monster. One of the best players I've played with in FIFA 13 Ultimate Team, and definitely the best centre back I've played with so far. His aggression, I think, is the thing that stands out most for me. Obviously he's got amazing pace for a centre back, but his aggression is just absolutely insane. He just goes hell for leather into tackles, and he actually scored quite a few goals for me from corners, which was a welcome relief because I needed them goals. Anyways, next up in the centre back position is Caillou Tate, who is a silver centre back, and look at that pace, 83. That's ridiculous for a centre back. He's actually very similar to Chiellini, and he's got a very high aggression. He gets stuck into tackles, and his heading is equally as good as Chiellini. You'll see there he actually turns defense into attack on so many situations. When the goalkeeper kicks it out, he wins them vital headers. He even popped up with a few goals similar to Chiellini. So an absolute formidable centre back partnership there. And next up we have a Traore, who is a BPL left back. He plays with QPR, and yeah, he was a decent player. Not amazing, very similar to Abate, it must be said. Not as quick, obviously, but decent overall. He did save me from time to time, but other than that, I wouldn't massively recommend him. There is better left back Premier League players in the mix, I suppose. Maybe not silver, I'm not too sure. I haven't looked too much into that, but you see there he does get stuck in and wins the ball back there. So overall a decent player, not amazing, but overall that backline is very, very good, and the goalkeeper as well. And our first CDM is the first of the two players that we pulled from the packs, and it is Kara. Popped up with a few goals. Overall, he's a bit sluggish, though, not the best of players. And yeah, you can pick him up for discard value, but to be honest, I wouldn't recommend picking him up. There is a lot better CDMs out there. So overall, not a bad player, but not a good player. Anyways, let's move on and let's put in the second of the CDMs, which is Pogba. Now, he was actually a lot better than Cara. He kind of went missing from time to time in games, but he did get stuck in. A good overall player. He's very strong. Didn't score that many goals for me. I think it was only one, possibly two goals. This was probably one of them. Very fortunate there with his goalkeeper. But overall, decent. And yeah, I probably would recommend him, but he is quite expensive. You're going to be paying in and around 15 to 20,000, which is a lot for a silver player, but overall he is a decent player. And next up we have Igor Kufin at centre attack in midfield, and you'll see there his picture is completely different on Foothead to what it is in the actual game, and he was actually very, very poor for me. I wouldn't recommend him. Very bad player. He only scored one goal and he did win me a penalty shootout, but other than that, a very, very poor player. Compared to last year, he's nothing compared to how he was in FIFA 12 Ultimate Team. And next up in centre attack midfield, we have Husiklep, and yeah, he was actually quite good. He also plays in the Tippa League like Cara, and yeah, overall, I actually would probably recommend him. He was definitely better than Gorkuf at centre attack midfield. He's very quick, and he did score some very nice goals for me, like this one here, just pounded that by the goalkeeper. But overall, yeah, decent enough player, but again, nothing unbelievable. I know I've said that about so many players in this team, but yeah, some very, very good players, and then some players that are kind of borderline. But first in at the striker position, first player in at striker position is El Yunusi, and I loved playing with him. An absolutely amazing striker. Just some of the things he could do was ridiculous. Some of the goals he scored, his pace is amazing. It's only 88 pace on his card, but it feels like he is similar in pace to Remi in at that about 91, 92 mark. He scored some very good goals. He's got great finishing and absolutely such a powerful strike he's got. And yeah, he was my second top goal scorer behind the other striker in the team. But overall, loved playing with them. And he was actually very unlucky not to get in the top three, but I won't ruin that because we'll leave it for later on in the episode. But our last player in the team is Remi, and you guys will know I love playing with this guy. I loved him in FIFA 12, and he's even better in FIFA 13. His pace is the main thing that he has going for him, really. Other than that, he's got such a strong and powerful strike. His finishing, exactly like El Yunusi, is amazing, and the two of them together were an absolutely crazy partnership up front. And if you can find a way to get the two of them in your team, I would definitely try to do it. He's popped up with a lot of goals, and he was actually my top goal scorer. He ended up with 10 goals in total, it was maybe 12, 11, 12, something in and around that, something ridiculous anyways. But you will see my record there, and yep, it is 12 goals for Remi. This was the first ever episode of Luck of the Draw, spanning back to when I started in FIFA 12, where I've actually won every single game, even though it was only 10, scored quite a few goals, and you'll see the team cost is 160k on Xbox. But there is only one thing left to do in this episode, and that is count down the top 3 best players in the team. So in at number 3, we have Caillou Tate, who is the absolute beastly centre back. Look at the pace on him, and I was so impressed with the two centre backs in this episode. It was absolutely ridiculous. The midfielders kind of let me down to a certain extent. Didn't enjoy playing with any of the CDMs or cams all that much, but the two centre backs I had in the team were amazing. Look at this. He turns, as I said earlier on the episode, he turns their, I suppose, attack into my attack, I suppose, or defending into attacking, you know what I mean? And yeah, you'll see there Remi ended up being the beneficiary of that by scoring that goal because Caillou Tate won that header. Scored quite a few goals for me and loved playing with them, and definitely deserving of that number 3 spot. And in at number 2, we have Remi, who was our top goal scorer. An amazing player, popped up with some vital goals. If you notice in the top left-hand side of the screen, there was a lot of times in extra time when he popped up with the winning goal to make sure I kept that winning streak going. And overall, he's an absolute joy to play with. You can pick him up for, I think, about 1,000 or 2,000 now. It's crazy how cheap he is for how good he is. It's just the fact that he is in League One that he does go for that ridiculously cheap price. But he scored some absolutely cracking goals for me. His shot power is insane. His pace is ridiculous. Everything about him I absolutely loved. There wasn't one thing that I could say really bad about him. He always popped up, scored the goals at the right time. Look at that, outside of the foot. Overall, great player, and again, very deserving of that number 2 spot. But without further ado, in at number 1, we have Chiellini, and it's probably no surprise to some of you guys the way I was talking about him earlier on in the episode. But again, just an amazing player. He was in the right place at the right time on so many occasions. His pace, his aggression, everything about him is just ridiculous. His heading is just insane. He wins 99% of headers. Well, not from corners all the time, but definitely when the ball gets cleared out and it's between him and the striker, he wins that header the majority of the time. He's actually decent at dribbling. I went on a couple of runs with him, and you'll see this goal here. This basically sums up how good Chiellini is in this game. Wins the ball, runs the whole pitch, and he actually manages to score. His players just couldn't do anything. He's only got 50 dribbling, it says there, but man, it feels like a lot more. And look at him just dancing around the opponents and finesses it in. Great goal. And yeah, a great player, definitely deserving of number 1. He even scored a hat-trick for me, you'll see coming up here. But that is pretty much it for this episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and a comment and go subscribe, and I will see you for the next episode.